You know, when the topic of death is usually brought up, you always hear people talk about wanting their death or someone else's death to be quick and painless rather than long and agonizing. Well, I guess in some cases, quick and painless isn't always the easiest to watch. And I'll start us off with that. Hey, what is up, you guys? It is Tyler. Welcome back to the Tyler Kun Williams channel. And welcome to a dose of the Chill Pill podcast. Today we'll be talking about Friday Night Smackdown. It was once again, a premiere. It was the premiere of Friday Night Smackdown on Fox. It's been built up for months now, talked about for months, and everyone, we've known about this for the last 2 years, and it's been a long time coming. And SmackDown has felt like a really big deal, and today is supposed to be the day that SmackDown has a new set and new change of pace and everything in between. And I actually checked out SmackDown tonight, which is a rare occasion, because most of the time I don't check out Raw, but I never really check out SmackDown. There's supposed to be a lot of things going on, especially the main event being Brock Lesnar versus Kofi Kingston for the WWE Championship, which everyone basically wrote Kofi off. Even I wrote Kofi off. I eulogized Kofi Kingston on the podcast last time we did a Chill Pill 5. So I already had a preconceived notion of what the outcome was going to be, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. So let's start from the start of the show. So the show starts off with Vincent Kennedy McMahon, doing the whole no chance in hell. His theme song hits, and out comes Vince and Stephanie, and they welcome us all to SmackDown. The intro starts, and the intro's pretty alright. I feel like here's what I say: the set. I love the set. I love this SmackDown set way more than the Monday Night Raw set. It looks so cool. It looks new, it looks fresh, and the pyro just added so much to it. But there was something about the feel of this show, from the intro to the way the show felt, that I just did not like. I did not like how the show felt. Like, it looked cool, but it did not feel cool. It felt very... Here's what I think of the intro to me. And here's the thing, I watch football every once in a blue moon. Like, if you ask me what's my favorite football team, it's some you gonna roll your eyes, but I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. Now, when you turn on Fox and watch NFL, you get the whole bum 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 ba bum 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 ba bum. You get the whole theme song thing. I felt like that SmackDown intro reminded me a lot of the intro to like Monday Night Football on Fox. It felt like an intro to a football game. That's what I felt like when I watched that SmackDown intro. And I didn't know how to feel about it at first. But I'm like, you know what? I'll give it a chance. Whatever. Show starts off with Becky Lynch coming out, and she starts cutting a promo. She's cut off by King Corbin. I guess we could call him King Corbin now, not Baron Corbin. King Corbin comes out, and this brings out The Rock to a huge pop. Everyone, it just seemed like a huge deal if The Rock was there. And I'll be honest. I will be honest, I really don't like the sentiment of, oh, we gotta make the legend seem like such a big deal, because it just makes the main roster and your current roster feel like such a lesser deal. But when The Rock came out and he bumped fists with Becky Lynch and he started doing, finally, The Rock has come back home. Your boy was doing the whole show. I was feeling it. I loved it. Because you don't see The Rock. We see The Rock maybe every few years. Every few years, we see The Rock. So when he came out, I'm not going to lie, your boy was very much into this segment. Very much into this segment. And even more so, because he's even more of a bigger star now than he was last time. He's been in so many movies. He's one of the biggest stars in Hollywood. So when he came back to WWE, it felt like a much more important time to be watching it. He, as you would guess, laid into King Corbin, calling him a broke-ass Burger King on crack, which I laughed at, not gonna lie. King tried to steal some of The Rock's catchphrases, which didn't work. Becky Lynch said something along the lines of, if she had testicles, it would be bigger than King Corbin's, and Baron Corbin then says, I'll have you know, I have adequate-sized testicles, which, I'm like, alright. So then, The Rock says, yeah, Corbin, I know you're supposed to be a badass. And Becky's like, oh, well, I think he's a super tough dude. And The Rock then gets over super tough dude, which the acronym STD. So now expect the crowd to chant STD at King Corbin for the next month and a half, because it's not going to last. And the thing I love about The Rock is that he can get anything over, and WWE will let him get anything over. Like STD, you will never ever hear someone like Seth Rollins try to get the word STD over. Only The Rock will get it with that shit. So I let it fly. Chris Jericho sometimes too, but mostly The Rock. The Rock is the only man who can get away with saying shit like this. So The Rock ends up laying the smackdown of King Corbin. He hits him with a rock bottom and the people's elbow, and which I marked out for. He dropped the microphone and he walked out. And this is where the show peaked. The show peaked at the very beginning with The Rock. The same way Raw peaked at the very beginning with Brock Lesnar laying in to Dominic and Rey Mysterio. It's just this trend. They start off hot, and that's where it just doesn't really pick up from there. But I'll get into the rest of the show. So we start off after this with Charlotte and Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks and Bayley. Now we're supposed to be getting this whole stigma of it's supposed to feel like a sports show. It's supposed to be more sports oriented. It's supposed to be this, supposed to be that. The what's it called? The vibe of the show feels kind of different, but the matches, the layout, commentary had Michael Cole and Corey Graves, which is basically Monday Night Raw without Renee Young. Everything else just kind of felt the same. The more things changed, the more they stayed the same. The pacing of the matches felt the same. The match was okay. Charlotte put down Sasha Banks with the figure 8, made her tap out. After the match, we got an interview with a Fox reporter. A Fox reporter interviewed The New Day. And I will say this, and this, as much as this was a good interview, it says a lot about WWE, because I felt like, I forgot the woman's name, but she's obviously works for Fox. She had more personality in this promo than I think I've ever seen any backstage interviewer not named Renee Young have doing an interview. She was smiling. She was trying to get in the groove with them. She gave more personality in this interview, and I was just sitting there like, WWE needs to hire her. Why is it that she doesn't work for WWE and she knows how to do interviews better than anyone else? The fact that WWE has all their interviewers like robots, but yet this one comes out of nowhere, and I instantly felt more invested in what I was listening to. Then we get to next match, Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura. We got a Firefly Funhouse segment, which I was excited for. Reintroduction to The Fiend to everyone who was new watching Friday Night SmackDown. I'm curious about what the ratings were for SmackDown. I'm really, really, really curious. Fox kicked out almost $4 billion into this, invested into SmackDown. So I'm thinking they were really hoping that this show did very well, because if it didn't, they gonna be angry. I hope you guys don't hear that. Someone's blasting music outside right now. They're blasting music. I really hope you guys don't hear that. But if you do, there should be some background music playing over top of it. He reintroduces all of his characters, and basically you have Rambler Rabbit dressed up as Seth Rollins, warning Seth Rollins not to show up to Hell in a Cell in fear of what the Fiend might do to him. This gives Bray an idea. He sets up his own impromptu Hell in a Cell match. He has Ramblin' Rabbit in the cage and he goes up against Mercy the Buzzard. And Mercy the Buzzard then proceeds to eat him alive. You see fluff flying all over the place, all over Bray Wyatt as he laughs. And then he picks up Ramblin' Rabbit's remains, his carcass. And he tells Seth Rollins that history has a way of repeating itself, and that soon he'll see it. The lights turn out, and Seth makes his best move ever. As soon as the lights turn out and he hears the whole thing going on, he runs up the ramp. And I'm like, yes, Seth, you're actually smartening up. Because only a dumbass will get attacked by Bray Wyatt like 3 times and be in the same spot every single time. So I'm like, okay, he's actually getting smart. Next time, he'll actually make a beeline for his car and just get away from the arena. But he'll learn. Baby steps. He gets laid out by the Fiend anyway. The Fiend sends him off of the ramp, and that's how we end that match. The match didn't even really start. But yeah, Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens gets underway. This was a good ladder match, a singles ladder match. They skipped Kevin Owens' entrance, so I don't know how I felt about that. He was already in the ring when it's like they showed a promo for the match, and then when the promo ended, Kevin Owens was already in the ring. I'm like, wow. Kevin Owens attacks Shane McMahon mid-entrance. They start brawling. Shane McMahon hits his inevitable elbow drop from the top rope onto the announce table like he does in every single Extreme Rules match he's in. They go to commercial break. Next thing you know, Shane McMahon is on a ladder. Kevin Owens is on another ladder. And does a frog splash on the Shane onto the ladder for a big pop from the crowd. Shane McMahon hits a coast to coast on the Kevin Owens onto the ladder. They're using the ladder as much as possible in this match, which I appreciated. Minutes later, you see Shane McMahon climbing up a ladder, but the ladder's positioned closer to a ring post, which has a ladder kind of across it. And you already know what's going to happen here. Shane McMahon climb up the ladder. Kevin Owens gets in the ring. Powerbomb Shane off the ladder, onto the other ladder. This leads Kevin Owens to climb up the ladder and retrieve the briefcase. So Shane McMahon is now out of a job. Finally putting an end to this storyline. I hope. Because last time Kevin Owens got fired, he showed up to Smackdown every week until he got this match. So hopefully Shane McMahon is going to be gone for WWE for a long, long, long time. Because this Shane McMahon heel turn made me hate him more than any other McMahon on this show. We got a Paul Heyman promo. I didn't listen to anything he said because he says the same thing every single time but with different words. We got another match, Heavy Machinery, The Miz and Braun Strowman versus Dolph Ziggler, Bobby Roode, AJ Styles, and Randy Orton. Do you want to guess whose entrants were in this match? Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman was the only man who got an entrance in this match. Heavy Machinery, The Miz, Dolph Ziggler, Bobby Roode, AJ Styles, and Randy Orton, they all got their entrances skipped. Kevin Owens had his entrance skipped. So I need Fox. This is their first week. But Fox is going to need to get their shit together. Because them skipping entrances like that, not cool. So everyone hit their finisher early on. Braun Strowman gets outside the ring and he's taunting this guy named Tyson Fury. Now, I don't watch boxing, so I don't know who the hell this guy is. But apparently he's a well-known boxer in the UK or something. They kind of stand off. Dolph Ziggler gets in the ring. Dolph Ziggler kind of interrupts. They get in the ring. He hits a power slam on the Dolph Ziggler. 1, 2, 3, match is over. Tyson Fury then attempts to hop the barricade to get in the ring, but immediately, like the second his feet go over that barricade, security was on his ass. And they stopped him from getting into the ring, and they escorted him out of the arena. Okay. Later in the night, we found out that Marshmello, yes, the music producer, the DJ Marshmello, rolled up R-Truth to become the 24/7 champion. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? We then got Rowan versus Roman Reigns. Decent match. A lumberjack match nonetheless, so everyone was ringside. Daniel Bryan was on commentary. Luke Harper made his way down to the ring midway through this match. He was cut off by Daniel Bryan, leading to a brawl between all lumberjacks. Ricochet among one of them. Luke Harper gets into the ring, gets hit with a clothesline by Roman Reigns. Daniel Bryan wipes out Luke Harper from running knee. Cut off by Rowan. Rowan and Roman. Say that 3 times fast. Roman. Knowing me and my dumb ass who can't speak, I can't do that even twice in a row. Anyway, so Roman hits Rowan with a spear and wins the match. After the match, Roman and Bryan shake hands, leading into their match. How many matches are even announced for Hell in a Cell? I was thinking about that. Hell in a Cell is this Sunday. I can't tell you other than 3 matches that are happening this Sunday. Let me look this up real quick, because I don't even think there are that many matches available. I don't even think there are that many matches announced for this show. Hell in a Cell 2019. Seth Rollins versus The Fiend. Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks. Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns versus Eric Rowan and Luke Harper. And Bayley versus Charlotte Flair. There are only 4 matches for this pay-per-view available at the moment. And it is Saturday. It is the day before Hell in a Cell, and there are only 4 matches. How is this going to work? How is it that you've gotten all the way to Saturday, the day before your show, and you don't even have a full card prepared? I was going to watch Hell in a Cell this Sunday, but nah. Nah, they don't even have a show for me to watch. And you know, I wouldn't mind if Hell in a Cell was a 90-minute show. I'd watch it if it was 90 minutes. But WWE tries to make their shows 4 hours. How are you going to make a 4-hour show out of a 4-match card? I don't know if they're going to make that work. We'll see. Expect them to announce at least like 7 matches today. I'll say that much. Then we get to the main event. Brock Lesnar versus Kofi Kingston. The match starts. Kofi charges at Brock Lesnar. Brock hits an F5. He pins him. And that's it. As soon as I called that match, that's as long as the match went. 10 seconds. Brock Lesnar defeats Kofi Kingston to become the new WWE Champion. I felt like they completely just spat in the face of this entire Kofi Kingston run. How do you build up this guy the way that you did over the last year between this Brock Lesnar and Daniel Bryan storyline? They gave that storyline a lot of time. They gave that match a lot of time. I thought that was the best match of WrestleMania 35. And they made sure to remind you every single opportunity possible about how they got to that point and how Kofi Kingston became the WWE Champion. And we get all the way to this point. And let me just say, I didn't think Kofi Kingston had the world's best WWE Championship reign. I honestly didn't think it was all that interesting, honestly. But a lot of people were shitting on it, saying it was the worst reign, it was boring, it was this and that. I didn't think it was bad. At least from what I saw. Because I didn't watch Raw or Smackdown to be able to tell you entirely. So I can't really grade it entirely. But from what I saw, I didn't think it was that bad. I just didn't think it was good either. But you get all the way to this point with Kofi Kingston. And he gets jobbed out. He did not lose. He got jobbed out to Brock Lesnar. That is how I can guarantee you right now, and I already said this. I said this when he won the title. I came to terms with the fact that as soon as Kofi Kingston loses this title, he is not getting it back, and I stand by this statement even more now. Kofi Kingston will never sniff that championship again. If this match is any indication. How can you even buy Kofi Kingston as getting a rematch when he didn't even get a single move against Brock Lesnar? This had to be the fastest WWE Championship match ever. If not the fastest championship match on Smackdown. They buried Kofi Kingston. I hate using that term, but this is a literal sense. They buried Kofi Kingston in one night. After building him up for an entire year, they squashed all of it. And for what? For what? To put the title back on the person who holds the title every single year for an entire year just so he could get beat for it by Roman Reigns? And you see why people don't watch this shit anymore. If anything, I would have rather him drop it to Randy Orton at SummerSlam. I already had the notion. I already had in my mind he was losing. I just didn't expect him to lose like that. So I was just like, wow. Good thing I don't watch this show. After the match, Rey Mysterio's theme music hits, and I said, okay, well, I guess that makes sense. So Rey Mysterio's going to get squashed with Brock Lesnar Hell in a Cell. Out comes Cain Velasquez. Yes. Former UFC champion. The guy who beat Brock Lesnar in UFC. The guy who actually made his wrestling debut at CMLL. Triple Mania. Or is it Triple A? I don't remember. It was one of the two. Cain Velasquez makes his debut in WWE by running at Brock Lesnar, getting him some ground and pound. Brock Lesnar runs away from Cain Velasquez, and that's how we go off air. The show went off air minutes before it was even 10 p.m. So they had all the time in the world to make that match go longer. Let me tell you this. That Cain Velasquez and Brock Lesnar segment went at least 3 minutes. You mean to tell me you couldn't have given Kofi Kingston versus Brock Lesnar even a full minute? You had to give them 10 seconds? There was no excuse. No excuse. People might have been excited about this. I didn't give a shit about Cain Velasquez. I don't care. I don't watch this show enough to care. Cain Velasquez in WWE sparks no interest in me whatsoever. I feel like I'm at the point with this company where there's nobody in this entire planet they could sign that would interest me in watching SmackDown or Raw full time ever again. That's the point I'm at with this show. I don't care about Cain Velasquez. I heard he's not even signed to WWE. How hilarious would it be if they did all this and Cain Velasquez just ended up signing with A? I'm not saying it will happen, but they did all this and Cain Velasquez signs with AEW. That'd be hilarious. It's not going to happen though, but I think that'd be hilarious. But nonetheless, that was SmackDown. Honestly and truly, I felt like Fox has their hands all over this show, and they're going to do everything in their power to make sure the show gets over. This did not feel like a sports show. It felt like a SmackDown show that got changed up visually. But at its core, it did not change up much at all. Raw and SmackDown are going to remain the same. They're going to be booked the same. They're going to feel the same. This draft next week, this might spark some interest in people for a little bit. But at its core, there is no war within WWE. The real war is between NXT and AEW, and that's where my attention will always be. Thank you all for listening in to this review. I love you guys always, and I'll see you all later. Peace out, guys.